Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm going to share to you the Bible verse in here, Isaiah 40 verse 8. The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of God endures forever. It's easy to remember, so if it's you, it's a good memory verse. It's not complicated, it's not paligoy-ligoy. It's straightforward. The grass withers and the flowers fall, and the word of God endures forever. The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of God endures forever. That's New International Version, and it's Isaiah 48. Isaiah 48. Remember that? Isaiah 48. The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of God endures forever. Easy. And this is the another version, King James version. It's a bit harder to read and remember. The grass withers, but the flower falleth. Falleth. May mga, faded pala. Faded. The grass withers, the and the flowers faded, but the word of God endureth forever. Endures forever. No. Word of God shall stand forever. There you go. Yan ang Bible verse for today. It's a straightforward, so bye. See you later. No, just kidding. My understanding in this verse is like, I've been here in Australia and I saw how fast the grass grass withers. They come to be, they become green, like green, fat, green, chubby grass today. And then tomorrow, especially if it rains, and then tomorrow, the next day, you'll see they're gone. They're from the sun. If it doesn't rain, the sun will burn them just like that, like quick. As you know that here in Australia, there's a lot of bushfire going on because not just the grass are falling, are withering, but all the trees, which is sad. Anyway, we'll talk about this, how fast the grass withers. Just one day here in Australia, they wither. But in Philippines, you'll never see grass wither. You need to really, you see grass as tall as you or taller than you. And those grass are very bad. Like, they are strong and mighty, and it can kill the the plants, the rice fields. If you don't remove the grass, the rice fields will will not will not grow fruits. Fruits. Does it grow fruit? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. So that's how fast, like one day, that's how fast the grass withers. And the flowers faded. Dito na nga lang tayo. Let's just use this version because the King James is very hard version to say. Faded. And faded. Kailangan mo ganun pa. Anyway, grass and the flowers, no, not that one. Flowers fall. So the flowers fall. I'm a gardener and I love flowers. I have roses, not many flowers, and I see how fast they faded. They, like, for example, they will bloom. It will take them like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They are still bulb, and then you wait for them to bloom. And then after 3 days, they die. They're gone. They die. Something like that. That's how fast the flowers fade too. And it's kind of comparing the grass and the flower to the Word of God. It's like, flowers and grass are living for this one. Ming Ming! Hang on a minute. My Ming Ming is knocking on the door. Ming Ming? Are you okay? You look stressed. So, the grass and the flowers fade like here today and then gone tomorrow. That's how fast the flowers fade. But the Word of God, it's comparing it to the Word of God. The Word of God endures forever. Like, it's this the flowers and the grass are this small compared to the forever Word of God that doesn't die. Also, the flowers, it's uncomparable. You can't compare it to Word of God because the grass, the flowers, and everything, every living thing, you can't compare Word of God to any living thing actually. Because living thing, even Adam and Eve and their generation, they live 800 years, 900 years, 700 years. But they still die after 700, 800, 900 years. But the Word of God doesn't die. It's kind of immortal. And imagine, I saw some history thing in the movie about after Jesus Christ. There's a lot of wars going on, like getting the land of this and the land of that. They are making come of lands everywhere. And the Christians are running for their life. And imagine that war and the World War One and the World War Two. There's like wars everywhere, and the Bible, the Bible are still here until now, and it endures every war, every floods, every earthquakes, and name it, fire. But the Bible is still here. The Word of God is still here. Anyway, that's my Bible verse. It's only a short Bible verse, but it took me like 8 minutes now talking. Maybe kape-kape muna tayo. Still hot. But if you want, I can explain to you the other Bible verse before that Isaiah 40. So it turned up to be like this. I'll read it to you. A voice says, "Cry out." And I said, "What shall I cry? All people are like grass, and all their faithfulness is like the flowers of the field. The grass withers, and the flowers fall, because the breath of the Lord blows on them. Surely the people are grass. The grass withers." Ito na yung Bible verse. "The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of God endures forever." Imagine, it says cry out. Umiyak na tayo. Umiyak na daw tayo. Let's cry out because we are like grass. We are like day old compared to eternity of Word of God. Compared to eternity of God, this is small. Kaya he said, cry out. You need to cry out. And I said, what shall I cry? It's like he's so innocent. He's so innocent to how small he is. Because a voice says, cry out. And I said, what shall I cry out? I'm living. and I'm active. Maybe that's what is thinking, but I just added it like I'm alive. But he doesn't know that, we are so small compared to Word of God and compared to God. So we really need to cry out. All people are like grass. There's flower. Why we are compared to grass? Why not the flower? Flower is better than grass. Anyway, we are really like a grass, not flower. Because what we do on earth, nothing. We just harm the earth, just like the grass. It does nothing. You can't even eat it. It's only giving you harm and no good. At least if you have flower, if we are flower, at least even just a little time and a little bit of our time, we give pleasure to God. We give God something. We make God happy. But the flower, the grass, what does me? I have garden and I hate grass, especially if it rains, because I need to mow the garden. I need to cut the grass. See, grass doesn't do anything good, except there is something good in grass. It's good to be fed on the pet, on the cow and cow and horse, if you have horse and cow. But if you don't have horse and cow, what's the use of the grass? Nothing. It's meant to be burnt and cut off, just like us. That's so painful. We really need to cry out, because imagine, that's how we are. All people are like grass, and all their faithfulness is like the flowers of the field. At least our faithfulness is like the flowers of the field. But it's not because flowers are nicely looking, but it's actually because the flowers fall like our faithfulness. Wala talagang forever. Imagine, faithfulness, akala ko pa naman, our faithfulness is already compared to the flowers of the field, but in a bad way. Because the flowers, it's only good. Like me. Sometimes my faithfulness, I'm so happy with God. Sometimes, oh no, Lord, go away. Leave me alone. Sometimes I'm like that to God, and my faithfulness is really like flower. Sometimes I'm good, I'm faithful, and Lord, yes, oh yeah. But sometimes my faithfulness is like, no, Lord, just leave me alone, go away. I just wanna, I don't wanna say it, but yeah, that's the truth in our life. We're like grass, and our faithfulness is like flower. The grass withers and the flowers fall, because the breath of the Lord blows on them. I don't know what does it mean. The breath, dapat basisin si God kasi siya pala yung may kasalanan. No, just kidding. Because the breath of the Lord blows on them. I don't know. What does it mean? If you know, just comment down below. Flowers fall. Please subscribe to my channel. I think I really enjoyed this, sharing the Bible and the Word of God. The flowers fall because the breath of the Lord falls on them, blows on them. Surely the people are grass. Sad. It says here, all people are like grass. And now, he's so sure. He said, surely the people are grass. Ngayon, confirm niya na. Before, all people are like grass. And then, on the next statement, surely, there's surely already. He's so sure, he's confirmed, are like grass. The grass withers and the flowers fall. but the word of God endures forever. And that's the word of God for today. And thank you for watching. And I hope you realize how small we are compared to God and compared to the word of God, and how how timed is our life is. So make sure you take time for God and take time for your family and friends, and make sure your time is worth dying for, worth living for, and enjoy your life. And whatever you do, just give a little time for word of God. Thank you for watching. See you later. I hope you enjoy listening. Bye.